My cold CEO wife, Amelia Frost, has been kidnapped. The kidnappers demanded that I chop off one of my hands before they'd release her. Watching my wife sobbing her eyes out in the video, I suddenly fell into deep thought. Chop off my hand? This hand? Although it hasn't accomplished any earth-shattering feats, it knows how to climb ranks like a pro, how to peel crayfish, how to scroll through TikTok, and occasionally even how to clean my ears. It even plays the role of wife whenever needed. This is such an important hand, so diligent, how indispensable it is. A hand lost is truly gone, but as for a wife, lose this one, and I can just marry another. So, under the stunned gazes of the kidnappers and my wife, I turned tail and ran straight out. On the way, I casually called the police. "Hello, police. There's a group here filming a movie with props that look way too realistic. I'm scared out of my wits. My name is Harlan Crane, a gloriously live-in son-in-law, the kind of character with no status in novels, looked down on every day by my in-laws and sister-in-law, with a wife about to run off with another guy. Talk about bad luck. But my situation is a bit different. My in-laws have long since gone abroad to retire. My sister-in-law is still in school. As for my nominal wife, the icy CEO worth billions, Amelia Frost, we've been married for 3 years, and the number of sentences we've exchanged probably doesn't exceed 100. Living under the same roof, but sleeping in separate beds. As innocent as 2 cucumbers. Aside from getting 10,000 yuan in pocket money each month, and living in a villa worth hundreds of millions, my life is no different from that of an ordinary slacker. Until today, an unknown number called, "Is this Harlan Crane? Your wife Amelia Frost is in our hands." The voice on the other end was rough and hoarse, deliberately lowered to sound menacing. At that moment, I was slurping a bowl of snail noodles, nearly spitting it all out. "Big bro, did you dial the wrong number? I'm just a freeloader. Where would I get a wife from? Cut the crap. Come to the abandoned factory on the west side of the city. Alone. No calling the cops. Otherwise, prepare to collect your wife's body." Beep, beep, beep. The call ended, and I stared blankly for 3 seconds, quietly picking up a piece of pickled bamboo shoot. Today's flavor is top-notch. Kidnapped? And they took that cheap wife of mine too? International Comedy Hour. That plastic husband-wife bond between me and Amelia Frost. If she's kidnapped, what am I supposed to do by going to rescue her? So she can come back and keep giving me that cold stare? Or so she can deduct this month's pocket money? I leisurely slurped the last noodle, drank up all the broth, let out a long burp, then slowly went to change clothes. After all, I have to play the script to the end. After all, my character's setup is that of a total simp madly in love with Amelia Frost. This was the agreement we signed when we got married. I'm in charge of playing the good husband, helping her fend off those annoying suitors. She's in charge of funding my slacker lifestyle. Now it's time to showcase my acting skills. I drove the crappiest car in Amelia Frost's garage, a Wuling Hongguang, humming a tune as I went, casually cruising to the abandoned factory on the west side of the city. As soon as I got out of the car, 2 burly guys in black masks rushed over, clamping me on both sides. "Hand over your phone." I cooperated fully, immediately handing over my brick phone. The burly guy looked at the Nokia in my hand and froze for a moment. "This one's great for saving battery, and you can even use it to crack nuts. Want to give it a try, big bro?" I enthusiastically suggested. The burly guy stayed silent, quietly shoving me inside. Inside the factory, the light was dim, dust swirling everywhere. Tied to a chair in the center was a woman, none other than my fake wife, Amelia Frost. She was wearing a high-end white designer gown, but it was smeared with dirt. Her hair was a mess. Her beautiful face, usually cold as ice, now filled with terror and helplessness. Her eyes were red-rimmed like she'd just finished crying. Looking at that expression, that appearance, it was way cuter than her usual glaring at me. Across from her, a guy with a meaty face, a scar by his eye, looking extremely vicious, lounged with legs crossed, fiddling with a dagger. He was Scar, the leader of the kidnappers. When Scar saw me enter, he grinned, revealing yellowed teeth. "You're Harlan Crane, Amelia Frost's husband?" I puffed out my chest, gazing at Amelia Frost with infatuation. In a tone that could make Shakespeare shed tears, I declared, "Amelia, don't be afraid. I'm here to save you." Amelia Frost looked at me, her eyes incredibly complex, with surprise, emotion, and a hint of hard-to-spot disgust. Scar seemed nauseated by my antics, waving his hand. "Enough, enough. Stop acting." He grabbed the phone nearby, opened a video call facing me. On the screen appeared a dignified, middle-aged man, none other than my father-in-law, Leonard Frost. "Dad!" Amelia Frost screamed. Leonard Frost on the other end looked ashen. "What do you want? Name your price." Scar chuckled darkly. "Chairman Frost, we don't want money." "Then what do you want?" Scar flashed a cruel smile. He glanced at me, pointing the dagger tip at the rusty axe lying on the ground nearby. "We want to see just how deeply this son-in-law of yours loves your daughter." "Harlan Crane," he growled each word, "chop off your own left hand, and I'll release your wife." The whole factory fell silent instantly, the atmosphere thick with suffocating tension. Amelia Frost's pupils contracted. She stared at Scar in disbelief, then at me, her eyes full of conflict and a glimmer of hope. Leonard Frost in the video stayed quiet, frowning deeply, staring intently at me. I was stunned. "Chop off my hand?" I looked down at my left hand. This hand, although it hasn't created any world-shaking achievements, knows how to rank up, how to peel crayfish, how to scroll TikTok, and occasionally how to pick my ears. This is such an important hand, so diligent. How indispensable it is. Now look at that Amelia Frost over there. She's beautiful, sure. Great figure too. But does she know how to peel crayfish for me? Does she know how to game with me? Does she give me money to get foot massages at the parlor? Never. She only knows how to look at me with those cold eyes, as if I'm a pile of crap, dirtying up her villa. This choice is easier than 102. Well, I took a deep breath, my face showing pain, conflict, full of tragic heroism. Step by step, I slowly approached the axe, each step heavy as lead. Amelia Frost's eyes grew even redder. She bit her lip hard, seeming to want to say something but unable to speak. Scar and his minions all wore cruel smiles like they were watching a show. Leonard Frost in the video, his expression grew extremely tense. Finally, I reached the axe. I bent down, in a posture like a solemn bow, slowly picked up a brick next to the axe. Then, in the instant before anyone could react, with lightning speed too fast to cover ears, combined with top-notch flair, I executed a hardcore 180-degree turnaround, bolting full speed toward the factory gate. As I ran, I yelled with all my might, a shout piercing the clouds. "Don't hold me back anymore, my love. In the next life, I'll be your ox or horse. Police uncles, save me. It's them. They're gambling here, and using tricks to cheat too." The whole world suddenly seemed paused. The smile on Scar's face froze, his mouth gaping wide enough to fit an egg. The minions in black masks, though their faces weren't visible, from their petrified postures, their body language, it was clear They were utterly confused. And Amelia Frost, tied to the chair, her face once etched with tragic sorrow, now wore an expression too rich for words. Shock, stupefaction, incredulity, then anger, and finally, all emotions faded into blank emptiness. In her, over 20 years of life, she'd never seen anyone so shamelessly thick-skinned. Leonard Frost, on the video call, jumped up from his chair in rage, pointing straight at the screen, lips trembling, unable to utter a word. Holy crap! Scar was the first to snap back. He roared, hurling the dagger to the ground. "Chase him! Tear that punk apart for me!" The minions woke up, howling loudly as they charged after me, but I ran even faster. Come on. In college, I was the 100 sprint champion, though after graduation, I've been a slacker for years. To be the first to snag the braised pork in the cafeteria, these legs have never slacked on training. I ran like a mad dog off its leash, dodging left and right, jumping all over. In this abandoned factory, Big Bro stopped chasing. I really love her. I'm going to call for backup. This is a tactical retreat, you guys get it? Doing this has no future. The law is strict these days. You're doing something foolish. As I ran, I used my top-tier trash talk skills, trying to win them over. But it had zero effect. They chased even harder. Seeing them about to catch up, I got a bright idea. Spotting a pile of empty barrels nearby, I kicked one hard. Boom, boom, boom! A dozen barrels rolled tumbling down, blocking their path. The lead minion didn't dodge in time. Tripped over a barrel, face planted on the ground, pulling the two behind him down in a heap. The scene turned into total chaos. "You useless idiots! Bunch of losers!" Scar fumed from behind. I seized the chance to widen the gap, just one step from the main gate. Victory was in sight. But just as I was about to dash out the door, toward the sunlight of freedom, suddenly my foot gave way. I heard a crack. The ground split open into a big hole. My whole body plummeted down. Ah! With a blood-curdling scream, the world plunged into darkness. When I came to, I found myself lying in what seemed like an underground bunker, pitch black all around, with only a faint light leaking from the hole above. I was sore all over from the fall, feeling like my bones were about to fall apart. This factory has hidden traps too? What a shoddy construction, harming people. I struggled to climb out, but my ankle throbbed in pain. It was sprained. Talk about one disaster after another. How tragic is the life of this slacker son-in-law. Just as I was lamenting my fate, footsteps sounded overhead. Scar and his minions appeared at the hole's edge, looking down at me with expressions, both relieved at catching me, and smug like a cat toying with a mouse. "Run! Keep running, you punk!" Scar cursed. "Heaven has a path you won't take. Hell has no door yet you barge in. I dug this bunker back in the day to hide stuff. Didn't expect it'd come in handy today." Lying on the ground, I looked up at him, flashing a weak but innocent smile. "Big Bro, it's a misunderstanding. Total misunderstanding. I was just heading out to stretch my limbs a bit, to build up strength for chopping my hand cleanly later. I believe you, my ass." Scar wasn't falling for it again. He signaled his minions. "Pull him up for me." Immediately a rope was thrown down. I was tied up like a bundle and hauled up, tossed like a dead dog next to Amelia Frost. Amelia Frost looked at my pathetic state, her eyes ice cold. Not a trace of sympathy. Instead, filled with utter contempt and fury. I wasn't one to back down, glaring back. "What are you staring at? If it weren't for you, would I be in this mess? This month's mental damage compensation definitely needs a raise." Scar picked up the axe from the ground, tossed it with a clang in front of me, making a piercing noise. "Kid, this is your last chance." He pointed at my left hand, then at Amelia Frost. "Either chop or I butcher her first, then you." The atmosphere tensed up like a taut string again. This time, Scar and his goons were on guard, 4 or 5 surrounding me tightly, blocking every escape. I looked at the axe, then at Amelia Frost. Amelia Frost was looking at me too. This time, her eyes held no hope, only cold despair. She seemed to have accepted her fate. I sighed. "Looks like today this hand has to go." I slowly reached out my right hand, gripping the cold axe handle. Just as I raised the axe, about to give my left hand a merciful strike. To end this farce, then, outside the factory, police sirens suddenly blared shrilly, from far to near, growing clearer. Everyone in the factory was stunned once more. The muscles on Scar's face twitched. He yelled, "Cops? How are there cops? Damn, who reported it?" All eyes turned to me. I looked back at them, flashing a shy smile, then pulled another phone from my pocket, the latest iPhone with a shiny screen. I waved the screen showing the call. The recipient clearly 113. "Sorry about that, guys," I said leisurely. It was me. I have this habit of always preparing a plan B. Earlier, while running, I casually made a report call. Oh, almost forgot. I also turned on real-time location and live-streamed the scene. I pointed in my chest pocket, where a tiny recording pen was clipped, flashing a red light. I said, "You guys are filming with super realistic props. I'm scared shitless. Please send some officers to protect me." Looks like the officers are pretty reliable. A silence enveloped everything, so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Scar's expression shifted from ferocious to bewildered to dazed, finally turning to horror like seeing a ghost. His minions' legs went weak with fear. Some with weak nerves started trembling. Even Amelia Frost looked at me like I was an alien. She probably racked her brains, and still couldn't figure out why I had 2 phones, or when I'd reported it. You. Scar pointed at me for ages, but couldn't get a coherent sentence out. Bam! The factory's main door was kicked open. A squad of fully armed SWAT officers stormed in, black gun barrels aimed straight at everyone inside. "Don't move! This is the police! Hands up!" The scene turned incredibly awkward, especially for me, because I was still in the pose of raising the axe to self-mutilate. The lead officer saw me, clearly pausing for a beat. Then he shouted, "Hey, you with the axe! What are you doing? Drop the weapon now." Was I supposed to say I was about to heroically chop off a hand to save my wife's life? Would they believe me? Seeing their faces like facing a major threat, I decided on a more pragmatic approach. With a clang, I tossed the axe to the ground, then raised both hands. With an innocent face, "Officers, I'm the victim. I'm the hostage." Scar's gang reacted even faster than me. The moment the police burst in, they all hugged their heads and squatted down, their postures perfect, like they'd practiced thousands of times. "Officers, we're innocent. We're actors. We're filming a movie." Scar cried even more pitifully. "We're performing real-life art. Do you get it?" The lead officer clearly didn't get any of that art crap. He waved. "Cut the nonsense. Take them all away." And so, a noisy kidnapping case ended in an extremely anticlimactic and absurd way like that. Curtain down. Amelia Frost and I, as victims, were also taken to the station for statements. In the interrogation room, a young officer poured me a cup of warm water. With a very friendly attitude, "Mr. Holland, don't be afraid. You're safe now. Tell us what exactly happened." I sipped the water to gather my emotions. Then my eyes suddenly reddened, voice choking like I was about to cry. "Officer, my life Why is it so miserable? That father-in-law of mine is the chairman of the Frost Group, Leonard Frost. He's always looked down on me, thinking I'm not worthy of his daughter. Today, he even shamelessly hired a bunch of actors to stage this kidnapping himself, just to test me. They forced me to chop off my hand, using my wife's life to pressure me. It's insane. So cruel. I got more agitated as I spoke, pounding my chest and stamping my feet, tears streaming down. At that moment, I was scared out of my soul, but I knew I couldn't give in. If I really chopped it off, I'd fall right into his trap. He just wants to see me crippled. So, he has an excuse to kick me out later. So I got a clever idea. Pretended to run away, but actually went to call for help. I couldn't let my wife fall into those claws, nor let this inhumane test succeed. That's me using my wits, my courage to protect love, to protect my dignity, officer. I spoke with utmost sincerity, full of emotion. The young officer listened and was stunned, looking at me with eyes full of sympathy and admiration. Mr. Harlan, you've been through a lot. This isn't just a family dispute anymore. It's illegal detention, threatening others' lives. We'll handle this strictly. I gripped his hand tightly, moved to tears. Thank you, officer. You must punish them. Get justice for me. In another interrogation room, Amelia Frost and her father, who rushed over, Leonard Frost, weren't treated as kindly. I heard that as soon as Leonard Frost arrived at the station, he was seen as the mastermind, handcuffed on the spot. At that moment, he was yelling at the old officer in charge. I told you, I just wanted to test my son-in-law. This is just a prank, a family internal joke. The old officer slammed the table. Bang. Prank? You call this a prank? You hired people to illegally detain your daughter and used weapons to threaten your son-in-law to self-harm. And you dare tell me this is a prank? We've interrogated them. Those guys confessed everything. You're the one who paid to hire them for this. Witnesses and evidence are clear. Leonard Frost, you're suspected of multiple crimes. Stand there and wait for your sentence. Leonard Frost was so angry he nearly had a heart attack on the spot. And Amelia Frost beside him kept her head down from start to finish, not saying a word, her face pale as paper. She probably never expected things to escalate like this. A test meant to humiliate me ended up turning into a massive scandal, humiliating the entire Frost family. Under the sympathetic gaze of the young officer, I finished my statement and strolled out of the station, carefree. As soon as I reached the gate, I saw the Frost family's legal team rushing over in a hurry. The lead golden lawyer saw me and bowed respectfully. Mr. Harlan, I waved, patting his shoulder meaningfully. Work hard. Try to get your boss a suspended sentence. I didn't bother with him anymore. Hailed a taxi back to the Villa. Took a hot shower, changed into clean pajamas, and sprawled on the big soft bed. It felt like being reborn. Though the process was a bit bumpy, the outcome was perfect. Hand intact, and the villain, aka my father-in-law, properly punished. Awesome! I cheerfully opened my phone, planning to scroll short videos to relax. Who knew as soon as I did? I was flooded with notification messages. Shocking. Billionaire female CEO tests son-in-law's loyalty. Stages fake kidnapping herself. Epic counterattack by tycoon son-in-law. Dad demands hand chop. Son sends dad to jail. Legendary turnaround. Facing kidnappers. He chose to call the... Below were all sorts of photos and videos from the scene, like Scar and his crew being pinned down by police, looking pathetic. Then blurry images of Leonard Frost yelling in the station, and close-ups of me raising the axe, with a heroic face preparing to self-castrate. Wait, no. Self-mutilate. Below ran a bold line. A real man must be ruthless to himself. Are these netizens all demons? The comments exploded. Insane. This son-in-law is a real talent. Calm in crisis. One wave and he reports it. This play gets 10 points from me. Ha ha. Feel bad for the father-in-law. Wanted to see the son-in-law make a fool. Ended up the fool for the whole world. Am I the only one who noticed? This son-in-law's desperate run looks just like me rushing to the cafeteria after work. You're not alone upstairs. This bro is reliable, reports for real when there's trouble. I declare from now on, Harlan Crane is my long-lost big bro. This is the role model for us bras. Why die for a woman? Looking at these comments, I fell into thought. Looks like I'm famous now. Famous in an absurdly ridiculous way. The Frost family is famous too. Only I got fame for being cool, while they got it for shame. That very night, the Frost Group stocks opened red across the board, plummeting miserably beyond words. Countless shareholders online wailed to the heavens, cursing Leonard Frost for being brain damaged to do that. Amelia Frost's phone was ringing off the hook, from the company, media, to partners, calling non-stop to ask about the situation, or just to watch the drama. And the author of the incident, Leonard Frost, though, thanks to the strong legal team, he didn't go to jail right away, but was put under house arrest for reflection, and suspended from all duties by the board. Truly lost money and health, everything gone. Late at night, Amelia Frost dragged her exhausted body back to the Villa d'Ardette. As soon as she stepped in, she saw me lounging on the sofa, munching chips while scrolling TikTok, super chill. The TV was still playing Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf. Seeing my carefree absurd demeanor, the anger she'd suppressed all day, finally erupted. Harlan Crane! She charged over, snatched the chip bag from my hand, and threw it hard to the ground. Are you satisfied now? Making such a mess. Turning the whole Frost family into a laughingstock. You're thrilled, aren't you? Her eyes were red-rimmed, voice trembling with rage. I leisurely sat up from the sofa, picked up a chip from the floor, blew off the dust. 5-second rule, still good to eat. Then I popped it in my mouth, crunching loudly. I looked at her, calmly saying, Amelia Frost, you're wrong about one thing. The one who messed this up isn't me. It's you, and your dad who loves playing smart, always setting up silly tests. You knew it was fake, but still played along, wanting to see me humiliated. Now you can't turn back? Don't blame me for not following your script. My voice wasn't loud, but each word landed like a slap, straight to Amelia Frost's face. She was speechless, chest heaving violently. You bastard. Yes, I'm a bastard, I admitted nonchalantly. But a bastard is still better than a fool. You think I didn't know what you were up to? Just wanted to humiliate me, force me to initiate divorce, so you can rightfully go to that childhood sweetheart, Victor Drake, right? Amelia Frost's face instantly paled. I'm telling you, don't even dream. I stood up, stepping in front of her, looking down arrogantly. This marriage I'll definitely divorce. But now, wait until I'm done playing. Wait until I piss off your dad to a stroke. Wait until I crush that Drake guy underfoot. I'll leave on my own. For now, I smirked. You and this Frost family just slowly enjoy the surprises I bring. With that, I ignored her, headed straight upstairs to my room, leaving Amelia Frost standing dazed in the living room, shivering with cold. The days after that, my life was utterly carefree. Leonard Frost was suspended. Amelia Frost was buried in handling the company crisis. No one had time to mind me. Every day I slept until I woke naturally, ate then sunbathed in the yard, or drove the Wuling for a breeze. Thanks to that kidnapping, now I'm a legit internet idol. On the street, sometimes recognized. Insane. Isn't this the turnaround son-in-law who bolted? Big bro, can I get a pic? You're my heart's idol. Big bro, teach some experience. How to be as tough as you. I turned no one down, enthusiastically interacting with fans, posing for photos and signing like an A-lister. I even set up a live stream account, named The Self-Awareness of a Live-In Son-in-Law. On the first broadcast, I recounted that day's mindset. Bros, the situation was tense as hell back then. One side, my beloved. The other, my left hand. My inner turmoil was brutal, utter agony. But I suddenly thought, as long as the green hills remain, no worry about firewood. Only alive can you start over. If I croak, who saves my love? So I decided to turn and run. This is wisdom. Boundless love. The livestream audience laughed their asses off. Where's the shame? Never seen anyone so shamelessly thick as this prophet. Learned it. Next time wife makes me kneel on durian, I'll say I'm training my knees to serve her better later. My streams blew up in days, hitting 1 million followers. Donation money flowed like water. I even got a game ad endorsing their running game. I thought up the slogan, "Run like lightning, leave your love to me," while my idol career soared like a kite in the wind. The Frost family's crisis deepened. Due to that scandal, the Frost Group's reputation plummeted. Key partnership projects all paused. That Drake guy, Amelia Frost's childhood sweetheart, CEO of the Drake Group, Victor Drake, even stabbed them in the back. He not only publicly canceled collaborations with the Frosts, but went around poaching talent, leaving the company in turmoil inside and out. Stock prices hitting rock bottom beta. Tonight, after streaming, I was gleefully counting today's donations. When Amelia Frost pushed the door in, she looked even more haggard than days before. Dark circles clear as day. But looking at me now, her eyes weren't just angry, but held a hint of complexity. Harlan Crane, she got straight to it. Victor Drake is targeting the Frosts, you know? Oh, I didn't even look up. What's it got to do with me? He's poached the core project team, snatched the Southern Development Project we've pursued for half a year. Amelia Frost's voice was weary. The board gave me an ultimatum. If I don't get the project back, I'll have to resign. Then that's great. I laughed at her misfortune. If you quit, will I still get pocket money? Amelia Frost took a deep breath, as if suppressing her rage. Harlan Crane, I know you're smart. That day at the factory, everyone was fooled. Only you saw through it as a trap. Can you help me? She was actually begging me. I looked up at her with interest. Help you? What's in it for me? As long as you help me through this crisis. Amelia Frost gritted her teeth. I'll agree to one request from you. Any request? Any request at all? I raised an eyebrow, eyes blatantly scanning her. Amelia Frost blushed under my gaze, but nodded firmly. Yes. I snapped my fingers. Deal. But before helping, I need to collect some interest first. What interest? I pointed to my shoulder. Live streaming's tiring lately. Shoulder's a bit sore. Come over and massage it for me. Amelia Frost's face turned bright red. You? Don't push it. If you don't like it, fine. I shrugged indifferently. Then figure it out yourself. Don't forget, your Drake guy is still lurking out there. With that, I was about to lie down and sleep. Amelia Frost stood there, biting her lip in humiliation. After a few seconds of internal struggle, she seemed to make up her mind. Quietly walked to the bed, her slender, pianist hands awkwardly placed on my shoulders. To be fair, the massage skills of a female CEO were really subpar. Pressure uneven, movements clumsy and stiff. Compared to technician number 38 at the foot massage parlor, it was like night and day. But what I enjoyed wasn't the massage, but the sense of conquest. Seeing the once arrogant Amelia Frost, now like a little wife enduring grievance, blushing and gritting teeth while massaging me, the feeling was better than getting 100 rockets donated. A bit to the left, yes. Lower a bit, harder. Ouch, haven't eaten or what? Put some force into it. I closed my eyes, enjoying while pushing further with commands. Amelia Frost's breathing grew heavier. I could even hear her grinding her teeth. I guessed if looks could kill, I'd probably be dismembered by now. All right, that's enough. After about 10 minutes of bliss, I contentedly signaled to stop. If she kept going, I feared she might snap and strangle me. All right, what's the specific situation? I turned and sat up, finally getting to business. Amelia Frost, as if granted amnesty, immediately withdrew her hands, standing 3 meters away, as if I had a virus. She steadied her emotions and started recounting the company's dire straits. Simply put, that petty Victor Drake used this Frost family scandal to fish in troubled waters. He used high salaries to poach from the Frost Group, pulling the entire core team of the Southern Project, then used that team to snatch the key government-supported project the Frosts had chased for ages. This project was life or death for the Frosts, not just about the company's future growth, but also affecting Amelia Frost's position on the board. But if the project fully fell to Victor Drake, the Frosts would suffer heavy vital damage, and Amelia Frost would surely resign in apology. Kicked out of the power center. The leader of the poached team is Liam Vaughn, a veteran from the company's early days. My dad trusted him a lot. Amelia Frost's tone dipped low. I never expected him to betray the company's trust. I sneered lightly. In business, trust is the cheapest thing. How much did Victor Drake pay him? Triple the annual salary, plus original shares in the Drake Group. Then, no surprise. I shrugged. Forget triple, just double would do. Plenty lining up to be traitors. Those old loyalty speeches are outdated. Amelia Frost fell silent. She knew I spoke the truth. So, do you have a way? She looked up, eyes carrying a spark of hope. A way? It's not like there isn't one. I rubbed my chin. Untie the knot where it's tied. The key to the problem still lies with that Liam Vaughn guy. You mean, pull him back? Amelia Frost frowned. Impossible. Victor Drake gave him so many benefits. He won't turn back. Who said I want to pull him back? I shot her a glance. I mean ruin him completely. Leave him with nothing. Amelia Frost was stunned. What do you mean? Think about it. Why can Victor Drake snatch your project? What does he rely on? Isn't it because Liam Vaughn took those core technologies and project documents? If we can prove that Liam Vaughn's documents were stolen trade secrets from the Frosts, then what happens? Amelia Frost's eyes lit up. If proven, the Drake project would be halted immediately for illegal origin, and Liam Vaughn would go to jail for stealing trade secrets. Exactly. I snapped my fingers. Then the project would automatically return to you. And Victor Drake gets hoisted by his own petard, losing the project, plus the bad rep for hiring scum, stealing business secrets. Let's see how long he stays smug. Amelia Frost's breathing quickened. This plan was undeniably ruthless. Once successful, not only resolves the Frost crisis, but also counterstrikes to finish Victor Drake off. But how do we prove it? She quickly calmed down. Liam Vaughn is cunning. The documents he took must have been altered already. We have no proof. Who said there's no proof? I smiled mysteriously. I pulled out my game console, turned it on to a interface, that looked like a Tetris game. What's this? Amelia Frost looked puzzled. This is the company's internal information security system that your dad spent a fortune on to import from abroad a few years ago. I explained while operating the game controller. This system appears as a regular OA office software on the surface, but it actually has a hidden backdoor. All files processed on company computers will be encrypted, automatically backed up to this game's server, and the admin account and password for this backdoor only your dad knows. How do you know about it? Amelia Frost looked at me in shock. Even as the company CEO, she didn't know this secret. Last time your dad got drunk and insisted I play games with him. He let it slip by accident. I casually made up a story. The truth was, one time I was too bored, planning to snoop on Leonard Frost's computer for some study materials, and stumbled upon it by chance. Amelia Frost was too lazy to even curse anymore. My fingers flew across the controller, blocks on the screen disappearing rapidly. Quickly, a hidden folder appeared. I clicked into that folder, entered a complex code string. The screen immediately displayed countless encrypted files. Found it. I quickly locked onto a few files. This is the full operation log of Liam Vaughn's precious project documents before he quit. Accurate to the second. There's also his chat logs with Victor Drake, email exchanges, transfer history, everything complete, nothing missing. I turned the laptop toward Amelia Frost. Seeing the ironclad evidence on the screen, Amelia Frost was horrified, speechless. She looked at me like I was a monster. This man, in her eyes, had always been a useless slacker who only knew how to party. Yet now, he not only saw through her dad's trap, resolved the crisis in an unexpected way, but also easily found evidence that even she was helpless with. What kind of person was he, really? We have the evidence now. What do you plan to do next? I shut down the computer and asked, report to the police right away or what? No! Amelia Frost interrupted me. Her eyes turned cold and sharp, restoring the decisive female CEO demeanor. Reporting to the police now would let them off too easy. I want to hold a press conference. Expose this evidence in front of all the media. I must ruin Liam Vaughn and Victor Drake completely. Amelia Frost's work efficiency was extremely high. The next day, the Frost Group sent invitations to all media in the city, announcing a press conference on the Southern Project in 3 days. The news caused an immediate stir. Everyone thought the Frosts couldn't hold on anymore, planning to publicly admit defeat and bow to the Drakes. Victor Drake was even more smug, forgetting himself, boldly declaring in an interview, "The Frosts are history. Miss Frost is an excellent businesswoman. But unfortunately, she was born into a declining family. If she's willing, the Drake doors are always wide open to welcome her." These words were full of the victor's arrogance, as if bestowing grace on the defeated. Online was flooded with voices mocking the Frost family. Tisk. The Frosts are done for this time. What can you do? Offend anyone but offend young Master Drake. Where's that son-in-law? Why so quiet? Hurry and show up for another legendary move. Meanwhile, for those 3 days, I was busy with a major task. I launched on my live stream a city-wide people search campaign, looking for a woman named Tina Pham. Based on the clues I provided, Tina Pham, female, around 25 years old, a hostess at a KTV tool, half a year ago, got knocked up by an IT guy, surnamed Vaughn, and the result was he not only shirked responsibility, but also dumped her, leaving her to slink back to her hometown alone to wait for birth. I declared myself a distant cousin of Tina Pham, now wanting justice for this poor sister, so I offered a 100-0 reward. Just provide Tina Phamb's contact info or clues about that scumbag Vaughn, and get the reward on the spot. Money can buy miracles. My millions of fans instantly turned into Sherlock Holmes, scouring everywhere. Very quickly, clues poured in nonstop to me. And the scumbag Vaughn I was looking for was none other than the betrayer of the Frost family, project leader Liam Vaughn. 3 days later, the press conference went as scheduled. The scene was packed like a festival. Cameras and recorders everywhere. Almost all city media present. Victor Drake came too, as the victor, invited to the front VIP row, face beaming like he struck gold. Utterly smug, Amelia Frost, in a black business suit, coldly stepped onto the stage. Everyone held their breath, waiting for her surrender declaration. But as soon as Amelia Frost spoke, everyone was floored. Today's press conference is not to announce abandoning the Southern Project, but to expose a despicable, shameless theft of business secrets. With that, the big screen behind her started playing. The evidence I found. Full logs of copying core company documents. Chat history with Victor Drake. Bank statements of Victor Drake's transfers to him. All ironclad evidence right there. The whole hall erupted in chaos. Reporters' flashes fired nonstop like out of control. Victor Drake in the front row. His smile suddenly froze, face turning pale. He never dreamed Amelia Frost would have this evidence. Slander. This is obvious slander. He jumped up, roaring bitterly. It's all fabricated. Amelia Frost, to win. You dare use such cheap tricks to frame? Amelia Frost sneered. Mr. Drake, don't rush. The good part is still coming. She snapped her fingers. The hall door opened. Several officers walked in, heading straight to Victor Drake's right-hand man, Liam Vaughn. Liam Vaughn's face was bloodless now, legs shaking like a leaf. Mr. Liam Vaughn, you're suspected of stealing and leaking business secrets. Please come with us. Liam Vaughn collapsed limp to the ground on the spot. But it wasn't over yet. As soon as the police took Liam Vaughn away, a young pregnant girl, belly huge, sobbing dramatically, supported by a man in sunglasses and full mask appearance, looking quite familiar, was led onto the stage. I'm Tina Pham. The girl took the mic, voice trembling but clear. Liam Vaughn, that beast. He tricked me body and soul. He said he'd marry me. But as soon as I got pregnant, he dumped me, even threw money at me to get an abortion. Today I must expose this scumbag to the world. The girl sobbed her story, while showing hospital reports and bank transfer history. The sender was clearly Liam Vaughn. If business theft only ruined Liam Vaughn's reputation, then the scandal of hitting and running, abandoning a pregnant girlfriend, nailed him to the pillar of shame, never to rise again. The scene truly exploded, drama after bigger drama. Truly the blockbuster of the year. Victor Drake's face went from pale to purple like pig liver. He stared at the man, in sunglasses and full mask, a bad premonition hitting suddenly. The guy slowly removed the mask and sunglasses, revealing a face. Hot online lately, handsome yet goofy. It was me. I smiled friendly at the reporters waving. Hi everyone, I'm Tina Pham's cousin here. Then I turned to the ashen-faced Victor Drake, smile turning teasing. Mr. Drake, surprise. That talent you spent a fortune poaching is not just a corporate spy, but the century's top scumbag. Now, do you think your project has any legality left? Victor Drake staggered, nearly unable to stand. He lost big time, lost everything. He not only missed the project, but brought a ton of scandal on himself. The Drake Group's reputation suffered heavily. from associating with this spy scumbag. He looked at me lounging on stage, and a cold Amelia Frost, eyes full of hatred and unwillingness. He knew it was all my setup. Me, Harlan Crane, the useless son-in-law he never respected, yet spun him like a top. Harlan Crane, he gritted his teeth, growling, "You just wait." With that, under the reporter's siege, and flashing lights non-stop, Han then fled the scene in utter humiliation. The press conference ended with a resounding victory for the Frost family. Amelia Frost stood on stage, looking at the chaotic reporters below, and at me, eloquently speaking under the spotlights, enjoying everyone's admiration. Her eyes grew more complex. This man was like a puzzle. Thought useless, turns out master planner. Thought heartless, turns out seeks justice for an unknown cousin. Thought playboy slacker, but strikes more ruthlessly than anyone. She realized she couldn't see through him more each day. The press conference triumphed. Frost family cleared shame. Stocks surged back. Southern Project reclaimed. Amelia Frost's company position solidified like never before. And me, as silent hero, with righteous cousin image, went viral online again. My livestream viewers hit tens of millions. All sorts of AD contracts. Business collabs pouring in nonstop data. I even got a film crew invite to star as a comeback son-in-law. My life seemed heading to the peak. That night, at the villa, to celebrate victory, Amelia Frost exceptionally cooked herself, making a lavish feast, though the taste was a bit meh. Hey, this sweet and sour ribs. Did you mix up vinegar with fish sauce? I tasted a bite, nearly souring my teeth off. And this fish, you sure it's cooked? I think it can still be saved. Amelia Frost's face alternated red and white. Eat if you want, or get out. She slammed her chopsticks down angrily. Eat! Of course eat! With my high survival instinct, I stuffed that half-raw fish in my mouth, choking it down. Delicious, super delicious. Tastes like your mom's. Amelia Frost. My mom doesn't know how to cook. The atmosphere turned extremely awkward. To break the silence, I took the initiative. That, the condition you promised me before, still counts, right? Amelia Frost's body stiffened, warily looking at me. What are you planning? Don't worry, I'm not that type. I just have a small request. I rubbed my hands, flashing a shy smile. See, this month I helped you solve so many troubles. No credit, but at least effort, right? Plus, the whole world gossiping. I've suffered enough grievances. This request of mine. I took a deep breath, face utterly serious. Next month, I want you. No credit, but at least effort, right? Next month, can my pocket money get a slight increase? Amelia Frost was stunned. She'd thought of thousands of possibilities, even prepared for the most outrageous requests from me. But she never expected, after all my efforts, all I wanted was a bit more pocket money. She looked at me like I was an idiot. That's it? Just that? I nodded firmly. Don't need much money, enough to spend is fine. I'm not really into money anyway. In my mind, increase pocket money first. Later in divorce asset, split. It'll give more leverage to negotiate. Amelia Frost was silent for a long time, then took a black card from her bag, placed on the table. This card has no limit. Swipe as you like. My eyes lit up like headlights. Unlimited black card? Insane, this is the true love of a rich lady. With lightning speed, I stuffed the card in my pocket, fearing she'd change her mind. Since you're so sincere, I'll respectfully accept. I cleared my throat, face full of righteousness. Don't worry, I won't spend recklessly. I'm famously the thrifty husband manager. Amelia Frost looked at my money-grubbing demeanor, her mouth corner uncontrollably twitching up, flashing a smile. She herself didn't notice. This meal ended in an atmosphere, both weird and harmonious. The following days passed unusually peacefully. With the black card in hand, I started enjoying the dream life of spending like water. Today buy a limited supercar. Tomorrow charter a jet to Maldives for fishing. The day after go to foot massage parlor. Call numbers 1 to 88 to serve me fully. As for Amelia Frost, she seemed to ignore my decadent life. She no longer showed me a cold face, though still not talkative, but the ice in her eyes melted a lot. Sometimes when I game late at night, she quietly brings me a hot milk. When I come home drunk, she frowns, but clumsily helps change shoes, wipe face. Our relationship was undergoing subtle changes, no longer like sworn enemies, but starting to look like a real couple. This feeling made me a bit uncomfortable. I originally aimed to destroy the Frosts, then leave proudly. How can I sink into this gentleness? Not good. I need to do something to break this harmony. But before I could scheme, trouble came knocking. Victor Drake, the man I played till he lost his pants. He was back, and in a way I never expected. That day, Amelia Frost and I were having breakfast at home. TV suddenly interrupted with breaking news. Former chairman of Drake Group, famous entrepreneur Victor Drake, early this morning, fell freely from his high-rise, dead on the spot. Police initially ruled suicide, but a suicide note was left at the scene. The note named Frost Group CEO, Amelia Frost and husband Harlan Crane. On air, the reporter read the dramatic suicide note. It's them. It's Amelia Frost and Harlan Crane, who used despicable means to rob me of everything, ruined my career, ruined my life. Even as a ghost I won't spare them. I use my death to curse them to bad ends. Amelia Frost and I were both stunned. Victor Drake dead and left such a note? What divine plot is this? My first reaction: this is absolutely a conspiracy. A selfish guy like Victor Drake, valuing his life above gold. How could he suicide? Even bankrupt, begging under bridges, he'd never choose death. Ding dong. Doorbell rang. I checked the surveillance camera, saw several officers at the door, led by me, the old officer from the previous kidnapping case. My heart skipped a beat. What's coming will come. I opened the door. The old officer looked at us gravely. Miss Amelia Frost, Mr. Harlan Crane, Victor Drake, is dead. He left a will, accusing you two of driving him to death. Now, please come with us to the station for investigation. Back to this familiar station again. My mood was truly complex. Last time as victim hero, this time as murder suspect. This roller coaster life is thrilling. In the interrogation room, the old officer placed the printed suicide note before me. Mr. Harlan, anything to say on this? I picked up the note, examined it carefully, then threw out a sharp question. Officer, now typed suicide notes count too? I thought it had to be handwritten to be legit. Moreover, these lines are all accusations against us. Not a single regretful word for his parents. This doesn't match a dying person's mindset at all. The old officer clearly noticed that point too. He nodded. We'll also verify the note's authenticity. But Mr. Harlan, from our investigation, before Victor Drake died, between you two, there was intense business competition. And personal grudges, too. You have full motive for the crime. Motive? I laughed. Officer, I admit I and that Drake guy didn't like each other. But drive him to death. I'm not that free to deal with him. I've dozens of ways to make him wish alive. Why let him die peacefully? Besides, him dead, what do I gain? Brings trouble on myself and lose a toy for amusement. I'm at heavy loss, okay? My words, though sounding defiant, were reasonable. You're right. I said. Wait. During Victor Drake's death time. Where were you? And what were you doing? At home, sleeping. I answered nonchalantly. My wife can vouch for me. Your wife? The old officer's face turned slightly odd. Mr. Harlan, from what I know, you and your wife sleep in separate rooms, right? Oh no. This play I was too careless. Forgot about that detail. Heh. Face unchanged, I said. Though we sleep in separate rooms, our hearts are always together. That night, we stayed up all night, chatting lightly. From poetry, music, painting to life philosophy. Chatted till morning. So we can vouch for each other. The old officer looked at me with eyes like, keep bullshitting then. On the other side, interrogating Amelia Frost was similar. She was much calmer than me, simply recounting the facts, affirming no connection to Victor Drake's death, due to lack of direct evidence. Amelia Frost and I were at the station less than 24 hours, released on bail by the lawyer. But we both knew clearly, things are far from over. Victor Drake's death like a 1,000-pound stone thrown into our peaceful life. Violent waves. The Drake family wouldn't let go, insistently claiming we drove Victor Drake to death, demanding we pay with our lives. The media got the chance to dig dirt, depicting us as a dark couple, unscrupulous to achieve goals. Frost Group stocks plummeted again, worse than last time. Partners canceled contracts in droves. Banks urged debt repayment. Company internals panicked. The entire Frost family fell into an unprecedented crisis. In the villa, the atmosphere was tense to the extreme. Amelia Frost sat on the sofa, face ghastly, pale, not saying a word. I knew this time she really couldn't bear it anymore. From public pressure to the company's crisis, plus the step-by-step forcing from the Drakes, enough to crush any strong person. I sat next to her. Don't be afraid, rarely softening my voice gently. I'm here. Amelia Frost looked up, red-rimmed eyes at me. Harlan Crane. Is it? Did I really do wrong? If at the beginning we didn't push Victor Drake too far, maybe he wouldn't have died. She started self-doubting. You're so naive. I couldn't help tapping her head lightly. I've told you, Victor Drake definitely didn't suicide. This must have someone pulling strings from behind to take down us two, take down the Frosts. But who would do that? That's what I'm investigating. I stood up, eyes turning keen. They dared play dirty tricks. Don't blame me for flipping the table all the way. I took out my phone, dialed a number. Hello, Scar? It's Harlan Crane. On the other line, a familiar voice with a touch of flattery. Oh, Mr. Harlan. How come Big Bro remembered to call little me? Any orders? None other than the leader of the fake kidnapping I tricked into the station last time. Scar, after getting out, don't know what he figured. Insisted on making me Big Bro, saying following me has better prospects. I was lazy to care about him originally, but now it's the perfect time to use him. Help me check a person. I got to the point. The night Victor Drake died, all suspicious people and vehicles around that building. I want to know everything. Piece of cake, Mr. Harlan. Leave it to me. Scar thumped his chest, guaranteeing, my boys have no other talents. But this scouting alley stuff, we know it inside out. After hanging up, I turned to Amelia Frost. Handle the company stabilization. No matter how outside turns around, don't respond. Remember, we're innocent. Straight tree, not afraid, crooked shadow. But the board. If those old farts dare complain, tell them. I laughed coldly. The next one to fall from a high-rise might be you. Amelia Frost was floored by the killing intent in my words. But for some reason, seeing my calm and powerful demeanor now, her pounding heart suddenly calmed in a magical way. As if with this man here, any big problem could be solved. Scar's efficiency exceeded my imagination. Just one day later, he brought me a key clue. Big bro Harlan checked it. Scar's voice on the phone. Extremely excited. The night Victor Drake croaked in the building's parking garage. There was a black van, super suspicious. It entered half an hour before Victor Drake fell. Just 10 minutes after the fall, it zoomed out. Plus we checked the cams. That license plate was fake. What about the people in the van? I pressed. Couldn't see clearly. All in hats and masks, fully covered. But one of my little bros that night happened to deliver milk tea nearby. He said he thought he saw someone familiar stepping down from that van. Who? Lucas Frost. Lucas Frost? I paused for a moment. This name sounded familiar. It took me half a day to think. I fished it out from some corner of my memory. Lucas Frost, none other than the blood brother of my fake father-in-law, Leonard Frost, aka Amelia Frost's second uncle. If I remember right, it was for embezzling funds. Years ago he was kicked out by Leonard Frost. Vanished since then. How is he connected to Victor Drake's death? A bold hypothesis formed in my mind. Scar. Keep checking for me. I said gravely. Check all recent activities of Lucas Frost. Who he contacted. How his money transactions were. The more detailed, the better. Yes, big bro. After hanging up, my face became extremely grave. If my hypothesis is correct, this isn't just a business revenge anymore. It's a meticulously planned play, targeting the entire Frost family in a family Civil War style. I didn't tell Amelia Frost about this immediately. Before having concrete evidence, I didn't want her to bear more pressure. I started investigating secretly alone, using my internet idol fame and my all-powerful fans. I quickly dug to the roots of Lucas Frost. Turns out after being kicked out, he always lived in poverty and misery, plus head-deep in debt from gambling. But recently, he suddenly flipped his life, becoming strangely wealthy. Not only paid off all debts, but also bought several villas. His money source all came from an overseas account, and the owner of that account, when I checked the name, I froze too. William Smith. This name couldn't be more familiar. That was the foreign husband of Amelia Frost's birth mother, my unseen mother-in-law, the one she married after divorce. The clues were all dealt now. My mother-in-law abroad never gave up eyeing the Frost family's massive assets. She first used Lucas Frost, the family's bastard son, to link up with Victor Drake, who also held a grudge against us. They conspired to stage Victor Drake's fake suicide, to frame us with the guilt, to destroy the Frost group, disrupt the Frost family, so she could appear as a savior, ally with Lucas Frost. Size, company, control rightfully, truly, a hardcore mantis catches cicada, unaware of sparrow behind moon. Women's hearts are truly deep. The ancestors taught truly without error. The most poisonous is a woman's heart. I immediately shared all my discoveries and hypotheses with Amelia Frost. After hearing, Amelia Frost sat dazed on the sofa, lost in thought for ages, unable to speak. Her face went deathly pale, unable to believe. The puppet master behind all this was her own birth mother, the beautiful, gentle woman in her memories. No, impossible, she murmured, tears rolling down her cheeks. Why would she do that? I'm her daughter too. Seeing her devastated appearance, my heart suddenly ached. I stepped over, pulled her into my arms. This was the first time I actively hugged her. Her body was rigid, but gradually relaxed in my embrace. Finally, she buried her head in my chest, sobbing, heartbroken like a child without refuge. I said nothing, just silently held her tight, gently patting her back. I knew At this moment, all consolations become meaningless. What she needed was just a shoulder to lean on. Once she cried her heart out. Her mood gradually steadied. I finally spoke. Now's not the time to grieve. We have to strike back. Amelia Frost looked up, her red eyes blazing with fighting spirit, mingled with cold hatred. You're right. She wiped her tears. Voice hoarse but firm. She's been unrighteous. Don't blame the daughter for being unfilial. I'll make her pay for what she's done. As I predicted, when the Frost group was on the brink, teetering on collapse, Amelia Frost's mother, Sophia Mandel, led her foreign husband William Smith, along with second uncle Lucas Frost, dramatically returned home. They raised the banner of aiding the Frosts through hardship, immediately called a shareholders' meeting, plotting to dismiss Amelia Frost's duties, to have Lucas Frost replace her position. At the shareholders' meeting, Lucas Frost was utterly smug, speaking endlessly, turning himself into a hero, rescuing the family from peril. Sophia Mandel stood beside, playing the loving mother, tears flowing, accusing Amelia Frost of being an unfilial and incompetent daughter, saying how she pushed the Frost family to the abyss. Most shareholders, unclear of the truth, were psychologically manipulated by them, continuously expressing support for Lucas Frost. Seeing Amelia Frost about to be dismissed, just as Lucas Frost was about to announce the vote results, I kicked the meeting room door open with a bang. Hold on, with a lollipop in my mouth. In a carefree manner, I strolled in, all eyes simultaneously focused on me. Harlan Crane, what are you doing here? This is a shareholders' meeting, not a place for a useless son-in-law like you to show up. Lucas Frost saw me and shouted loudly. Useless? I scoffed, walked in front of him, pointing the lollipop at second uncle's face. You can eat rice carelessly, but words can't be spoken recklessly, or you'll get karma smacked easily. You what? I ignored him, marched to the podium, snatched the mic. Dear shareholders, honored guests, before voting, I'd like to invite everyone to watch a good show. With that, I snapped my fingers. The big screen in the meeting room lit up brightly, playing a video segment from surveillance cameras. The video was the night Victor Drake fell in the parking garage under his building. From a black van, Lucas Frost and two other men were dragging a dead drunk person upstairs. That person was Victor Drake. Immediately after, the image switched to Victor Drake's living room. Lucas Frost was video calling a woman. The woman in the video with exquisite makeup, elegant aura. None other than Sophia Mandel sitting below. Mom, everything's set. We got him dead drunk. Suicide note stuffed in his pocket. Just throw him down later, and it's done. Guaranteed no one knows. Ghosts unaware. Lucas Frost's voice in the video rang out crystal clear, and Sophia Mandel on the other end flashed a fully satisfied smile. Good job. As long as this succeeds, the Frost family will be ours. The video stopped abruptly there. The entire meeting room sank into deadly silence. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe their own eyes on the screen. Then looked at Lucas Frost and Sophia Mandel, faces drained of color. The truth turned out to be like that. Victor Drake didn't suicide at all, but was murdered by them. No, this isn't true. This is fabricated. Sophia Mandel reacted first, screaming madly like insane. Lucas Frost was scared, legs weak, collapsing to the ground, babbling incoherently. Fake! It's all fake! Fake! I sneered coldly, pulled out my phone to play a recording. The recording was my conversation with Scar. Mr. Harlan, the two guys with Lucas Frost that night. We grabbed them. They confessed everything. It was Lucas Frost who paid to hire them to throw Victor Drake from upstairs. They also said Lucas Frost gave them a bunch of hush money, told them to flee abroad and hide. As the recording ended, I tossed out a stack of bank transfer records. This is Madame Sophia Mandel's transfer log to Lucas Frost. And this is the proof of transfer from Lucas Frost to those two killers. Witnesses and evidence are clear now. I stepped in front of Sophia Mandel, looking down at the once noble, elegant woman, now no different from a mad hag. Now, do you have anything left to say? Sophia Mandel was completely broken. All her meticulously built plans for so long turned out at the last minute, destroyed in a flash by this very useless son-in-law she never respected. "Ah!" she screamed and lunged at me, intending to scratch my face to shreds. But I'd never let her succeed. I sidestepped lightly to avoid. She grabbed air, high heels twisted, face planted on the ground pathetically. And at that exact moment, the meeting room door opened once more. A squad of police stormed in, led by that same old officer from before. He walked to Sophia Mandel and Lucas Frost, raised handcuffs. "Madam Sophia Mandel, Mr. Lucas Frost, you two are suspected of intentional homicide and business fraud. Now I officially arrest you two." The dust settled. A brutal family civil war ended in such a dramatic way, like that. 1 month later, under Amelia Frost's leadership, the Frost Group gradually got back on track, and I finally got to enjoy my dream, slacker life. That day, I was lying on a lounge chair in the yard sunbathing, sipping an iced Coke, when Amelia Frost approached and sat beside me. Today she wore a pristine white dress, long hair loose over shoulders, under sunlight looking beautiful like a fairy. "Harlan Crane," she softly said. "Thank you." "For what?" I asked, lazily back. "Thank you for everything you've done for me. For the Frost family." "Oh, that stuff," I waved. "No need to thank. It was all a transaction anyway. The black card you gave works pretty well." Amelia Frost looked at me, suddenly smiling, her smile like melting ice snow, as if all things awakened. I watched, slightly dazed for a moment. "Harlan Crane." She looked straight into my eyes, said seriously, "Let's start over from the beginning, okay?" Huh? I was stunned. Not that fake agreement show, but start over as a real husband and wife. Her cheeks flushed pink, in her eyes, full of gentleness and expectation I'd never seen before. I looked at her, my heart a jumble of emotions. I admitted after the recent series of events, I really developed some strange feelings for this icy woman. But me, the man aiming to be king of son-in-laws, how can I be easily tied down by one woman? After pondering a bit, then with a fully serious face looked at her. "I can start over with you, it's not impossible. But I have one condition." "What condition?" Amelia Frost asked nervously. I cleared my throat, slowly saying, "From now on, all the dishes at home are yours to wash all, okay?" The end.